said he's gonna set my soul on fire. Got a whole lot of money that's ready to burn.
Hi, this is the 2015 SHOT Show. We're at the PolyCase booth, and it's a group of people I've been dying to meet and get to talk about and see some of their ammunition for what now? 3 years now? 2 years?
3 years we've been up here showing off our R&D, Richard, and this is the first year that we're selling product here at SHOT Show.
And I'm sorry, this is Andrew?
My name is Drew Gorman. I'm the Chief Operating Officer and Vice President of Business Development at PolyCase.
And everybody knows I'm Ghost Warrior for CZForum.com. We talked about the 308 or 223, I think you guys said it. And you were developing this. Explain this a little bit to us.
Sure. So, in addition to our polymer case technology, which I think you've heard about before, we've now developed the ability to injection mold our own projectiles. We inject these out of a proprietary copper polymer mixture. Even though it's got some polymer in it, it's not a frangible round. It's actually a very tough round, a barrier penetrating round. And the idea here, if you can see this, with the grooves in the ogive nose of the bullet, is we are attempting to harness not only the directional energy of the bullet, like a hollow point, which expands, but in a non-expanding bullet, a bullet that doesn't expand, the rotational energy of the bullet. So a 9mm bullet, for example, fires at 100,000 plus RPMs coming out of the barrel. Nobody's ever tried to harness all of that rotational energy as it impacts the target. And so, I don't know if you can get this on the camera, but when you look at our gelatin shots, this is what's so different about what we're doing with this bullet design than anybody else on the market. That's an entry wound right there. That's the bullet going in, and that torque effect from the grooves in the bullet trying to stop the rotation of the bullet, opening up an immediate temporary cavity, unlike something that penetrates and then opens up. And we still get a solid 12 to 14 inches of penetration, FBI recommended self-defense penetration depth. That bullet's called the ARX. That's our ARX bullet.
All right, Nat, what calibers is that coming out at?
So we've got two lines of ammunition. PolyCase is the polymer case product, which is available in 380 auto only with round nose and air. Our Inceptor line of ammunition is the same injection molded projectiles loaded on brass cases, and that's available in 380, 9, 40, 45, 357 SIG, 38 Special, 223, 308, 300 Blackout, and 458 SIG.
One of the things that I asked last time, and I don't remember exactly the answer, but one of the reasons why I stopped is I read about you guys in one of the magazines or online. And at the time, there was some mention of the possibility that the cases, the plastic cases themselves, would maybe at some point in time be reloadable. Have you gone any further with that, or is it just something for down the road? Or?
I would say at this point we're committed to the single-use cartridge case design.
That's fine.
Making a reloadable polymer case may be technology that's beyond the market at this point, but as a single-use cartridge, it's highly effective, and there are even reasons to use a single-use cartridge.
Well, yeah, we were talking to someone else, and we're sponsoring an IDPA too, and we have a steel team. And one of the things we were talking about was when you do the IDPA, your brass is pretty much lost. It's not something you go back and recover.
Right.
So having this right here, the plastic cases, you're not losing, a certain amount of money in what you're doing because if that came out correctly,
I understand exactly.
You're not losing the brass. It's 3 cents or 5 cents or whatever the brass costs you. Yeah. PolyCase is what, a few cents, So
not only that, but I'll point out that the bullet itself, since it's a copper polymer matrix, is recyclable. You can actually mine the bullets from traps, and just like a lead bullet, recover the raw materials in the bullets.
Right, and these would actually, since I brought up the subject of IDPA and NIPSC, are these rounds approved, or are they sort of, or can you use them as competition now or whenever they are approved?
You can use them in 3-gun competitions. The majority of our rounds don't meet IDPA minimum power factor. They're highly effective self-defense rounds, but no, is the short answer on competition.
All right. When you're talking to people and people are asking you questions about this, whether it's media people or buyers or just people wanting to buy, guests and so on, what is there a question that nobody ever really gets around to asking? I know it's kind of a vague sort of, what if question.
Yeah.
But there's times and places where sometimes you're talking to people and you're kind of, you don't want to necessarily guide it. But a lot of people, there's questions that they should have asked or could have asked, and they never got around to it or didn't think of it. Is there any questions that, along those lines that you would want people to know that you normally don't get asked?
So, as you might imagine, I get asked a lot of questions, and I've answered just about every question you can think of with regards to this ammo. The one that comes to mind is some people think to ask, what happens if you fire it through a left-hand twist barrel? Because the grooves, as you can see, are specifically designed to take advantage of a right-hand twist. What I'll tell you is that it still has the same effect, slightly less pronounced. The grooves are not ambidirectional, but they do still produce a dramatic terminal effect regardless of the twist of the barrel. But it is designed to be most effective through a right-hand twist barrel.
I mean, the whole point is, the aerodynamics of the round coming out of the barrel and the follow-through on that. So I can understand why it would work in a left-hand twist as well as a right-hand. What is the average, this is a good question, I suppose. What's going to be the average cost? How are you going to sell a box of 20, box of 50? What are you guys projecting as the MSRP for your ammunition?
MSRP on the small pistol calibers, 9mm and 380, which come in boxes of 25, is $29.99. MSRP on the large pistol calibers, 40, 45, is $29.99, but it's a 20-round box. So the cost at MSRP is between $1.20 and $1.50 a round.
Right. And if we go to your large long gun calibers, where would those come in?
Very similar. Everything is between $25 and $29.99 on MSRPs, and the box size is typically 20 rounds on the rifle caliber.
So more and more I'm seeing ammunition coming out that instead of it's like a lot of people are moving away from the 50-round boxes and they're going down to the 20-round boxes. So it's not, it's like, just following through with everything that's going on. I'm seeing those more and more. So
it is. We're trying hard to keep the 25-round boxes in the small pistol calibers because those are really the rounds that people want to take to the range and shoot. And we're big believers that you should train with the ammo you carry for self-defense.
Yeah.
So we want people to think and see that the ARX, for being some of the hottest technology on the market, is very reasonably priced compared
What's
to our
a foot per
competition.
second? I mean, subsonic or sonic?
It's all supersonic.
Okay.
The 380 fires at just under 1,200 feet per second. The 9mm is just under 1,500 feet per second. The 40 is about 1,350 feet per second, and the 45 is about 1,250 to 1,300 feet per second. All substantially faster than anything you would find in a conventional cup and core lead core bullet.
Right. But you mentioned something that I keep talking that comes up in forums and on our mind as much as anybody else's. A lot of people ask, well, what round should you carry in your gun and what's a good round to go training with? And you generally end up seeing questions where they're asked, the answer is, if you're going to go to the range and practice your shooting, 115 grain. But if you're going to carry, it's 124. And my attitude towards that is exactly what you just said, in that you need to train with the actual ammunition because the dynamics of a 115 grain round nose full metal jacket going down range is a whole lot different than 124 grain. I mean, you're talking a whole different range, the drop on it, the whole thing. So, and that's a constant thing. And I wonder if there was anybody else out there you know, that had the same attitude towards that. I try to tell people if you're going to do the 115 grain, at least save the end of it. Say go through one box of 124, so your muscle memory remembers that because that's your carry. So you can kind of use the 115 to build muscle memory, and then practice with the 124 to get used to the difference. Is it available now, and where can we buy it?
It's available now. We do have one national distributor, that's Ella Brothers, for dealers that are working through Ella Brothers, and then we've got a network of dealers we deal directly with as well.
Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas! Viva, Viva Las Vegas!